but I know that we're processing it right now. It took like 2 hours to just render the video after the GoToWebinar. So what are we going to cover today, man? What are we going to be talking
Okay,
about?
so today is really like there's not. Yesterday I had like obviously 2 hours, which would be more like 4 hours if it was at normal speed of content. This is really just like a Q&A webinar for you guys so that you can get any questions that you have answered about modules 1 and 2. I'll quickly run through modules 1 and 2 so you can see what we talked about in there. So the first video was kind of just giving you a general idea of what's going on. What are we even trying to do? And that was like, if we look at these slides here for the master plan, you can see that I built out this Amazon roadmap where we kind of just break down the whole business model here, which is this thing, where it's kind of just like the steps how I approach my Amazon business is with this mind map. So I break all that down in that first video, and then from there we go into the notes contest, which you have to just watch that video to find out what that is. Harlan, my friend Harlan, says he's going to win, so I think that he probably, knowing that guy, because he's just a brilliant copywriter, you got some stiff competition, but there's going to be more than one winner, so get in there. Then we went into where we are in the life cycle of the e-commerce business in general. When I got started in e-commerce, drop shipping was really hot, and it was significantly easier than it is today to make money as a drop shipper, and that's kind of where we focused all of our attention, and we built up seven-figure drop shipping businesses, and it was great, and it was like the heyday of drop shipping, and there was a company that was producing information training on it. It was great. And now that's kind of shifted, and most physical product retailers are being very successful with their own brands. It's not that drop shipping is dead. I mean, it's much harder to make money in drop shipping because the main reason is that the prices for advertising have raised, and so the margins on drop shipped products are a little lower, which means that the best way to make money as a dropship merchant is to get your traffic from organic search, which is showing up for free in Google, and that is still doable, but it still costs you money. And basically, we sold out of our last dropship business a few months back, and we're kind of really focused on our own brands. So we just kind of talk about the life cycle of e-commerce and how when I went to Amazon, what they projected. I was talking to them about what do they think is coming with e-commerce, because obviously they know a little bit about e-commerce, and their projections are that global e-commerce is going to triple by 2017, which is 3 years from now. So when I got online, when I got into the game in 2007, really was when I started doing physical products. I got online about '05. We had about 4% of total online transactions. Total transactions in the United States, retail transactions done online. So 96% of transactions that were happening, retail transactions, were happening offline, and 4% were happening online. And since in the last 6 years, up to 2014, we now have 8%. So the total number of transactions, the total number of available purchases for you to dip into and scoop up some of has doubled since I've been in the game, and Amazon claims it's fixing to double again. So it's a pretty exciting time to be in this e-commerce thing. It's not getting it. We have not reached the crescendo. There will be a tipping point where it's going to plateau out, and we're not there yet. So I kind of talk a little bit about that. Then I tell you, what you can expect in this course. Like, what can you expect from me? What do I expect from you? If in order to make sure that you get the most success possible. So you should check that out so you can see kind of what to expect. And then we go through how to set up your Seller Central account inside of Amazon. I'm going to need that, honey. Okay. Thanks. And then the additional settings for your Seller Central account. And then I interviewed my friend Mark Bealey about how to set up from overseas, because he's an Australian guy who is retailing physical products into the United States from Australia. So kind of, you can do it as an overseas guy or gal, but there's some more hoops that you got to jump through, and so we went through those. And then we just had our action items for Module 1, which was if you want to be successful with your online business, you have to commit to it. You've got to commit to actually giving it a go, and what that means is consistency. It means consistently putting energy in the direction of your business, because in your life, what you put your attention on grows. What you put your attention on gets bigger, and what you ignore goes away. And so if you put your attention on your business consistently, over time, you're gonna see it grow. So that was module 1, and then module 2, where there was some meat and potatoes of getting started, was how to do keyword research. Really, really big topic that a lot of e-commerce business owners ignore. When we look at our Amazon business, we live or die by where we rank for different queries. You know, where we show up inside of this is a little weird, baby alive doll, inside of Amazon for different queries, and so in order to really understand the potential of our market, we've got to thoroughly understand how to do our keyword research. We've got to understand tools like merchantwords.com, and understand tools like Suvl, and understand tools like the Google Keyword Tool. So that's what we talked about in that video, is really digging into the keyword universe for your specific market. And it's really important that you go through that thoroughly, because most folks don't take this. They kind of just, you know, are going after one keyword. They kind of just know 1 or 2 keywords for their market. They don't really understand what's available to them as a you know, in their market. And you know, we are always, I said this on the call yesterday, always attacking new keywords, always running marketing campaigns to rank for new and better keywords and different keywords. And it's because we go through and we do thorough keyword research, and I really walk you through how to do that in this video. And I even give you a product opportunity worksheet that you can use that gives you, you know, the how to identify the opportunity for your product, as well as a keyword research worksheet that we use to kind of, you know, identify the keyword universe of our market. And actually skipped ahead, because the product opportunity is what you do after you've after you've done your keyword research and picked your category. Then we went through the market criteria checklist, which is just kind of the checklist that I use to you know, identify my markets, and I did a little live example of that. And then we did the final product evaluation, which is where that product opportunity worksheet came in. And then I had my friend Chris Keefe come in and talk about how he picks markets, because, dude, there's not one right way to do it. There's no like one way that's better than the other way. Like, I've got the way that I do it, and the way that I do it has worked very well for me and my mastermind students, and it's been very successful. But Chris has a very interesting way of going about how he evaluates and picks products that's been very successful for him and his mastermind students. So there's not, you know, there's no, I don't think my way is inherently better than some other way. It's just the way that I do it. So that's what I teach. But I have the, I really believe that if you want to thoroughly cover a subject matter, that you've got to take into account other viewpoints than your own. And that's why I brought Chris in, because I think he's got some really interesting ideas on product evaluation that are totally radically different from mine. I mean, we overlap in some areas, but we also like do it completely different in other areas. And so it's cool to get that in there and get him. He's willing to come and do that. And then there's a video from Perry on what to sell. Perry is a partner and digital marketer, and he's really smart, physical product guy. And he spoke at my Digital Retailers Association event. Actually says traffic and conversion, but that's not actually accurate. It was at the Digital Retailers Association event, and so that video's in there. And then we just did our action items for Module 2. So this call is for me to clarify any questions you have about this module, in specifically anything about keyword research or anything about Modules 1 and 2. I'd like to make myself available over the next 45 minutes to an hour, or as long as it takes. I mean, hopefully it doesn't take that long. I usually like to try to keep these things under 90 minutes. But, you know, I'm here for you, and I want to be supportive of you. And you know, hey, if you've got questions that relate to other modules or that relate to other things about the Amazon business, I'm totally willing to take those on this call. And I'm not going to leave you hanging, but I would like to at least have the first 15 minutes or so of Q&A dedicated specifically to Modules 1 and 2. So with all that said, you know, give me what you got. Let's do it.
Yeah, so Hannes has a good broad question here. Why do we do keyword analysis before we pick a category?
Well, because your keyword analysis, actually, really, actually, those videos should be switched up. Maybe I messed that up in the. Let's take a look if I messed that up. Market criteria checklist, finding suppliers. No, that's brown box formula. You're going to want to pick your. Oh, I remember why I did it that way. Because most people don't really understand keyword research, and keyword research oftentimes gives you ideas for products. And so what we like to do is we do keyword research on a bunch of different potential products, and then from there we look at we look at our categories. So they're interchangeable. It doesn't actually matter which one you do first. If you pick your category first and then pick a product within that category and do the keyword research, that's fine. I did keyword research as the first thing in this module because I feel like that is the most important thing, the least understood part of this business is keyword research. I've talked to so many six and seven figure sellers who were missing out on a ton of opportunity because they've never done thorough keyword research in their market, and they just happen to rank for one big keyword. And so I put that video first because I want. Some people just go through one or two videos and then skip the rest, believe it or not. So I want keyword research to be the preeminent thing that people come away from Module 2 understanding. But you could pick your category first. Obviously, you're going to need a category before you have a product, right? So you're going to need to know what category your product is in. But a lot of people just pick products, and they don't even pay attention to what category it's in until after they've picked their product. And so by doing keyword research, that's one way to take a look at different potential opportunities, but also by having a video in there that tells people how to choose categories, it gives them another avenue, another way of identifying potential products. So they're kind of interchangeable. It doesn't really matter what order you consume these videos in. You're going to either pick a product and it's going to end up in a category, or you're going to pick a category and then find a product within it and do your keyword research on it.
So Claude says, once you have your search volume, like 5,400 a month, competition is high, then what? Like he says, what does that tell us, and what actions can we take from that info?
So I don't know if you had the chance to go through creating your product opportunity list and then evaluating your products, but basically you create this product opportunity list, which I downloaded here, which will tell you, the potential that you have for that product, right? How many keywords it has, how savvy the people in the market are, how many reviews you have to compete with, what the search volume is, what the score is on my spreadsheet, is Amazon selling it, any notes that you make about the specific product, like your mom likes it or it sounds good, and then you use all this data to pick your market. I mean, it gives you all of the data points that we use to identify products, and then we do this spreadsheet on a couple different products, and then we say, okay, of the litter box, the pet nail trimmer, the pet carrier, and the motorcycle helmet, which one looks like it's going to be the best, and then we pick that one. So you're going to have to go through the actual training, because I spend probably an hour talking about how to do that, but it gives you the information that you use to then choose which product that you want to go after.
A lot of people asking about yesterday's webinar, and just to clarify, we sort of fast forwarded and released module 5 for those that are advanced with Amazon, and then Ezra went through the entire module on the call yesterday. That call will be in the members area by the end of the day, and so you'll be able to watch the recording. It's kind of a marathon call, and it's like we said, it's pretty advanced. So if you're kind of still working through modules 1 and 2, then I would just take that webinar and watch it when you get to module 5. Wouldn't you agree, Ezra?
And what we did was we set up a campaign. We built out all the landing pages. We set up a new funnel. We integrated lead boxes. We integrated Aweber. We set up all of our pixels. We set up our Facebook ads. We did the whole entire marketing campaign, soup to nuts, on a brand new product in our Be Friendly line in that webinar. So, if you don't have a product yet, it's not relevant for you, but you could watch it just to get, just so that you know what you're going to be doing once you do have a product. But yeah, it was pretty crazy.
Now, one a question from Victor says, what is considered a second tier keyword?
So a second tier keyword is essentially any keyword that is not your main 2 or 3 keywords that also doesn't have super low search volume. So if we put in dog gate, for example, just log in here. So when you put in dog gate, right, we'll sort it by highest volume first. So the main keyword for this is going to be dog gate and then dog gates. Those are really going to be the main 2 keywords. All the rest of these keywords are second tier, right? Except for when you start getting down to like these ones that have no search volume. Those aren't really, these are not second tier keywords. These are just super long tail keywords that don't matter. But these second tier ones are ones that you're going to go after. They're ones that you're going to use in your description and your title and your bullet points. And the second tier keywords often contain modifiers that you'll use, right? So for the house, extra wide, freestanding, wood, tall, extra tall. Those are all what we call modifiers. And we use those modifiers in our marketing so that we can rank for these second tier keywords, and that you will rank for all kinds of other queries that we didn't even know about, because the way that Amazon does it, if you ever look at their advertising and stuff, is, you know, if you run ads on Amazon, you put in dog gate, under the keyword dog gate, they're going to lump all these, so like these ads that we see down here, although Amazon's not running ads today. Sometimes they don't run ads. But all the keywords, all these second tier keywords are going to be lumped into the main keywords on Seller Central ads. So you won't actually be able to see the volume inside of Seller Central advertising for these queries, but we want to have, like, let's say dog gates for the house. That's what would be considered a second tier keyword for this market. We would put for the house somewhere in our bullet points. We'd also put it in our description. We'd have it in our title. So we've used these modifiers throughout our content, and that's going to help us rank for these second tier keywords. And then when we're running our Mississippi Muffin Top campaign, we might actually target one of these long tail second tier keywords first instead of going after the big one, because we're going to rank for these much quicker, and it's going to help us rank for these bigger ones as well. So second tier keywords are essentially just not your main 2 or 3 keywords that have enough volume to be considered something that you want to target, which is really anything over 500. All these little ones, probably not so relevant. But these ones up here that got a little more volume, those are ones you want to consider.
So Ken asks, in the market criteria checklist, you talk about that queries that have commercial intent. He says, isn't the intent of sellers on Amazon all commercial? I'm not clear what you mean. Can you just clear up what you meant by commercial intent?
Well, sometimes on Amazon, there's queries that don't have commercial intent, and the way that you can find that out, right? Amazon's got a lot of queries that are informational because Amazon sells a lot of information products. So all these are returning. Basically, if the query, I'd say 95% of queries on Amazon have commercial intent, but some of them are informational queries. You just want to make sure that you're not targeting a query that someone is basically looking for information, right?
Right. And I think Ken, I think the difference is that yes, the seller's intent on Amazon is commercial, but we're looking at what the keyword intent is and what the searcher's intent is, and you don't want to be targeting. I mean,
and the reason why I pay attention to commercial intent is because I come from the old school Google, Bing, MSN, old school e-commerce marketers who started on search engine marketing. And with search engine marketing, you have to be a lot more careful because I'd say about half the queries don't have commercial intent. So
right.
On Amazon, a lot more of the queries do have commercial intent, but I throw it in there because I want you to be paying attention to it, because there are certain markets where some of the queries are not people are not looking for physical products. They're searching for information on Amazon, and you just want to pay attention to that. But like you look at dog gates, almost every query in this market is going to be a commercial intent query because they're looking for a physical product. You're not going to really find a query on here. If I just do the suggested search, right? If we just look at every single query,
Well, I mean, that's the exciting thing about Amazon in general is that most people that are on there searching are ready to buy. You know, they're sitting there with their credit card in their hand and ready to rock and roll. So, but you know, when people do searches on Google, a lot of times they're just looking for reviews or you know information in the early stages of perhaps buying at some point. But most people on Amazon are searching to buy.
Yeah, I would say every query so far here has had commercial intent. Not a huge thing, but something that you just want to like have some attention on because you will find that, and you'll also find keywords that aren't even real. Like for example, Amazon Merchant Words will tell you that pet supplies for dog gates has 500,000 searches, but it's not even a real query. So you got to be careful about the queries that you're targeting and make sure that you test them and that there that there's people actually searching for this thing. So there you go.
Cool. So Lloyd says, I have a product that is popular in multiple categories. What's the best way to choose the category?
Well, Amazon's going to so when you're setting it up inside of Seller Central, which category do you choose?
Yeah.
I would choose the biggest category, and then what I would do is call them and get listed for second-tier categories. Because you can call them up and say, hey, I want to be listed in these other categories as well, and they'll list your product in multiple categories. I think we might even have, this product listed in a couple categories. Take a look. Yeah, see, we got listed in a couple categories here. So you can actually get listed in multiple categories, but I would start with choose whatever you think is the widest market. You obviously are going to have to choose down when you're setting up categories in Seller Central. The way they do it, like if we go to the way that they do it is pretty interesting. Where is it? So if we come in, I'm not. There's somewhere there's one of these sites that you can actually go through and look at all the every single category, but you're going to have to choose down to the category. Like you're going to have to choose down to a baseline category, right? Like if makeup is if we look at this product for example, like I can't just say I want to be in skincare. I have to pick all the way down to one of these final categories. So you'll have to pick down to a final category, and then mark it inside of that category, and then you can go on and have other categories added on later. But we always go for the biggest one because we want to be inside of the biggest category. But frankly, the truth of the matter is your category doesn't matter at all. What matters is where you rank for given queries inside of the engine. That's the sum of the game. All we're doing is trying to get visibility when people are typing in queries here on Amazon, and have our products listed for these different queries, and that's what matters. What category you're in doesn't so much matter. Obviously, it has to be relevant to your product, but at the end of the day, what's going to make or break your business is where you rank for different queries inside of the Amazon engine.
So let's jump back just a second and go back to like a 10,000 foot view. You know, Cheryl's asking, explain again what you mean by drop shipping versus having to wholesale.
Sure. So as a dropship merchant, what we did was we would put up a website. You want to see some a lot of these guys. These guys here are an old school Yahoo store developer. They did like back in the day when we were all doing Yahoo stores. These guys were like the guys, man. And a lot of the stores that they develop, that they do sites for, are dropship stores. And basically, what dropshipping means is you've got a I'm looking at before now. That's pretty cool. You've got a supplier, in this case Massage Tables, who has a bunch of products, right? And you build out a website and you put their products on your website. So you don't have any inventory, you don't stock any inventory, you just build the website with the products on it, and then you generate visibility to that website, and people come and they buy a product from you, and they give you $100 for a product. And then you go to the drop shipper and you say, okay, here's $50, because it costs you $50, but you're selling it for $100. Ship this to this person. So you're basically selling other people's products, and they're shipping it for you. It's not your brand. They're inventorying it for you. You don't hold any inventory. The only thing that you're responsible for is creating the sale. So if they tell you it's going to cost you $50 for a massage table, you put it on your website for $100. You go and you get a sale. You sell it for $100. You get that $100. The customer pays you for it before you've ever paid for the product. You're getting paid. You're getting money before you've even bought the product. Then you go to the supplier and you say, here's $50, ship it to this person. So that's a really good business model. It's great. However, the problem is the margins are really low, right? Like usually at a traditional dropship store, you're only going to be doing 25 or 30% margins. However, when you are white labeling or wholesaling, where you're creating your own brand, you're going to buy a product at, let's say, $5 a unit, put your brand label on it, buy 100 units up front, so you got $500 worth of inventory, you got 100 units, you're going to put your label on them, and you're going to sell those on Amazon for $25 a piece. So now your markup is, or $20 a piece, your markup is, 400% instead of, your margin is much higher when you are white labeling or wholesaling or buying in bulk and creating your own brand. You control the whole thing. You control the shipping. I mean, Amazon's shipping for you. But the thing about drop shipping is you might sell a product and then the supplier might tell you, oh, that product's out of stock. So then you got to refund the customer. So when you're drop shipping, you don't have control of the whole sales cycle. And when you buy the product up front and create your own brand, you have control of the whole sales cycle. You acquire you're paying. The difference is you've got to put money out up front when you're a wholesaler or a white labeler, whereas when you're a drop shipper, you don't put any money out up front. You just go and generate the sale. So I hope that's clarified the difference between drop shipping and wholesaling. It's pretty straightforward. Maybe I just complicated it, but basically, as a drop shipper, you are generating visibility for products and getting paid for them and then buying them after the fact and having them shipped, and they're not your brand. When you're wholesaling, white labeling, you are buying the products up front, putting your own brand on them, and then retailing them.
So this would be interesting to get your take on. Like one of your lines is called "Boom" by Cindy Joseph, correct? It's a beauty product, right?
Yep.
So how did you did you find Cindy and she already had a product and she needed somebody to handle the marketing and sales side of things, or how did this happen? Like the other day I was at the park and they had a bunch of people had set up and they were selling their little products out of the back of their truck, and I'm thinking, these people need a marketing and sales team to get some of this stuff out there. Like, where do you go to find products that already exist but just aren't out there?
Well, I don't really recommend doing that where okay, I'll tell you the story of Boom in a second here, but I don't recommend going out there and finding people who have products and then saying, let me partner with you on this product and do the marketing. I mean, look, people do that and that works great, and you can do that. What I would recommend would be to pick a product in a market and then go and see if you can create your own version of it. Maybe you can maybe those people will let you white label their product and put your own brand, put it in your own jar and put your own label on it. Like, ultimately what you want is the brand. You want to own that brand. You want to have your own brand that is yours, that nobody else has, that you control the pricing on, that you control the marketing of, and I think that's really the way to go. If you want to just partner with people, there's one guy that's in my mastermind. All he does is go to big brands that aren't yet on Amazon, and he helps them get on Amazon. So he says, I'll take a percentage of your sales, I'll bring you on Amazon, I'll help you get selling there, and I'll get a percentage of that. So he does that, and you can do that. Boom is a collaboration. Cindy was a good friend of mine. She was a makeup artist for 27 years. She was a makeup artist in the 80s and 90s to all the big fashion models, Cameron Diaz and Naomi Campbell and all that stuff. And when she was 48 years old, she was approached on the street in New York City to be to have a picture taken. I'll show you the picture. She was approached on the street, and they said, hey, we want to take your picture for a Dolce & Gabbana ad. Would you be interested in that? And she thought it was someone in the industry who was just messing with her. And she said, sure. So they took her picture, and then they called her and they said, hey, we want to use you in this campaign. And it was at the time when consumers were realizing that the baby boomer generation, it's about 10, 12 years ago now, 15 years ago, the baby boomer generation was like the one that had disposable income, and they wanted to start using models that were of that generation to sell that generation stuff. And so Cindy kind of pioneered that. She was up for this campaign. She was a very provocative campaign of an older woman and a younger man. That kind of stuff didn't really exist at that time. And she became sort of the face of this generation of women, baby boomers, right? And she became like this supermodel, you know, that she got, and all these divisions of modeling called the classic division were created after her, and there's a whole bunch of other models now who do this kind of thing, and she sort of became the face of that generation. And we became friends. We started hanging out, and I was a e-commerce guy, and I said, hey, we should create a cosmetics line. You were and I understand content marketing and brand building, and that it's good to have a face behind your brand and make things social. Although with Amazon, you don't really need that. You only need that if you're going to go off of Amazon. For Amazon, you don't need this kind of content marketing and a face and a presence and a social connection and that kind of stuff. But if you want to take your brand and expand off Amazon, which we'll be talking about in the bonus module on Channelize, we'll be using Bloom as the case study and some of my other stuff. Then you need that stuff. But so I said, hey, we should do a line, and so we did, and we just joint ventured on it, created it together, and created that line. But it wasn't like I went and found this product and then said I want to market it. It was a joint venture from the start. But I do know a lot of people who are doing that. I think if you want to create some content around your brand and you want to have someone be the face of your brand, then the safe way to do it would be to hire people on, let's say, Craigslist, or get some friends and family members and have a couple people who do videos. Hey, welcome to our website. I'm Joe from abc.com, and then another person, hey, I want to, when, like, if you notice that we got videos for each one of our products, right? Product videos. We've got videos on our blog, got videos on our thank you page, we've got videos all over our website. And so if you don't have an actual face, this is a little bit dangerous. If Cindy dies, or something, God forbid, that's such a horrible thought, but let's say something happens to Cindy and she can no longer create content for us. Well, we've really built this brand around her. This brand is 100% built around Cindy, and without her, it's probably going to be hard to make this brand go. So that is a single point of failure, and you probably don't want to have that in your business. You probably want to have a couple people doing videos, product videos. Do it like Zappos. If you go to Zappos, man, they got product videos on almost every one of their products, but it's all from different people. So let's see if they got a video on this product. They don't have a video on this one. But that's how I'd recommend doing it, is having more than one person who creates videos and content for your brand, so that you're not in the spot where it's based around one single identity. Now with Cindy, she's a celebrity, and so that was like an actual specific selling point, was the fact that we were going to use her credibility and her celebrity to build this brand, and we were able to do that. But I think if you're just getting started, then you probably don't want to do it that way.
There's a couple people asking, like, can I ask questions about Module 2 next week, things like that. Yeah, you can ask questions about any module, but we're trying to stick to, right now, Module 1 and 2 questions for this call, and then, even in a couple weeks, you can ask questions about Module 2, but we'll probably stick at the front end of the call to whatever module we've just recently released. Sharon is saying, I need to get started on a small scale. I'm short on resources to buy stock and inventory and things like that. Her interest is in fashion jewelry and accessories from India, but she's not sure how to do keyword research on this, as it's not a common item. Can you offer any words?
Yeah, so I think that you're in trouble there, because really on Amazon, we are living and dying by where we rank for different keywords. So if you just want to sell like random one-off items from India, you're going to need Etsy for that, right? You're going to need to sell on Etsy.com, and Etsy.com is really hard to generate visibility on because their ad network sucks, man. I've been like buying traffic on Etsy for like 3 months, and I've only been able to, and I've like juiced my bid as high as I possibly can, and I can only buy like 5-10 clicks a month. There's just really no way to really optimize for Etsy. And so with Amazon, you're really going to want to be, you're going to want to, have a single product that's replicatable, that you can rank for a different query. So one specific piece of jewelry. So if we come over to Merchant Words, we might take a look at something like, jewelry Let's just look at jewelry first. Let's see what we got here. Let's see what pops up. And I'm going to sort it by highest volume first. Okay. And what I might also do is come over here to Amazon and just take a look at what comes after jewelry. Am I spelling that wrong? Yeah. Okay, so jewelry box, jewelry armoire, jewelry box, jewelry beads, jewelry bracelets, jewelry case cleaner. We can come over to Merchant Words, take a look. So, man, jewelry box is probably a heck of a market. Birthstone jewelry. I don't know if birthstone jewelry. I guess birthstone jewelry is. There's a bunch of different birthstones. American Indian jewelry. That's probably something you could do. But I think that you're going to need to be even more specific, like coming down here to some of these smaller guys, like Bang. You know, if you had a piece of Islamic jewelry, let's see if we can go to Islamic jewelry here, for women. Like, that's a query right there. And if you had a product that was relevant for that query, then you could rank it for that query. If it was a piece of Islamic jewelry for women, you could then optimize that one replicatable product. So if you want to do, like, Amazon is not the place to do a bunch of random things. It's the place to have an item that you can sell multiple units of, that's replicatable, that's consistent, and then have other items in your line. Like, you'll notice every line we do, like the example line that we did, for this Channelizer course, that's now doing pretty dang well for us. We rolled out 8 products in, or how many ever we got here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We got a bunch more in this line that aren't even rolled out to Amazon yet that we will roll out. But we can do that because we have the capital and resources and knowledge and ability and the team to be able to market and roll out multiple products at once. But the way that you would do it is you pick one product that was replicatable. I think I'd even go down smaller. I'd probably come up to something like, let's see if we can find a good one for you. You said Indian jewelry. I'm curious if there is even any search for that. Let's see what we got for Indian jewelry. I don't know why I can't spell jewelry. I keep screwing that up. It's a tough one. Okay, Indian jewelry. So you got like yoga, metal head chain. That's interesting. That could be a product, a metal head chain. So American Indian jewelry, Indian gold jewelry, Indian forehead jewelry. Bang. So there we go. We got our product. Indian head jewelry, Indian hair jewelry. So it looks like Indian jewelry has to do with the head. So I would I'd do a head product, and then I would rank it for all these different, I'd create a head product, and I'd rank it for all these different keywords. I'd rank it for Indian jewelry, but I also rank it for Indian gold jewelry, and I'd rank it for Indian forehead jewelry, and I'd rank it for Indian, fashion jewelry and all this other stuff, jewelry for women. So I'd pick a product, and I'd rank it for all these Indian jewelry keyword terms, and I'd probably have it be the head jewelry, because that seems to be the most popular one. When I put in Indian jewelry, one of the top ones is a head piece, and there's some leg pieces and stuff like that. But I might do, I might go after the head piece for that if I was going to do jewelry. But again, look, man, you want to do something that is only $10, and these ones are super ghetto. It doesn't look like there's any good ones here. You might be able to come in and do a high quality product in here and take advantage of some of this. But the thing is, when I put in like one of these queries, like even Indian forehead jewelry, right? That's a decent one, 36,000 there. Let's take a look. So, $5, $6. Oh, because the forehead one is the bindi. Yeah, you don't want to do the bindi. That's too cheap. Let's see what comes up under Indian gold jewelry. Yeah, you could do. I don't know. Jewelry's kind of tough because people don't really know what they're looking for when they're looking for it. So you need a line with a whole bunch of stuff. I might shy away from jewelry, but if I was going to go after jewelry, I'd pick one product that I could replicate, and I'd try to rank it for a whole bunch of different keywords that were relevant for it. Problem I find with Indian jewelry is it appears to be pretty cheap, most of those queries. Let's see if we can find another query here. Bridal jewelry, bridal head jewelry. Let's see, there's a lot of bridal stuff. I wonder what Indian bridal jewelry is. Yeah, it looks like it's head pieces. It might be a tough market, but if you're going to go into it, you're going to want to pick a product that can be considered relevant for all these terms, so that you have more than one term that you're going after. And it may just be that in your case, the thing that you're passionate about doesn't quite lend itself well to this channel of selling. It lends itself better to like, in flea markets and Etsy and that kind of stuff.
So Juan's asking something about sequence here. Is it better to wait until we have category products, have suppliers, and then set up our Amazon seller account? Or
well, you'll notice that I put that in there first because I think that there's something to be said for commitment. And the reason why I want you to set up your Amazon account, the first thing, is because you're going to be paying $40 a month for that. And that's going to incentivize you to get your stuff together. So by committing to setting up the Seller Central account, you're committing to the business, and that's why I want you to do it first. Do it in whatever order you want, obviously, but that's why I recommend that you just go in and set it up and get that part done so that you've got an account on Amazon and you're ready to go as soon as you have your product and you're committed to that. It was more for like commitment.
So Pascal says, is there a way to determine which keywords a product is trying to rank for from the ASIN? And maybe, I'm not sure what the ASIN is.
The way, give me the ASIN for the product.
Yeah, Pascal, if you can give us that info, we can, maybe Ezra can help you out there. Tanya says, what does it mean when people say they're doing $50K a month on Amazon? How much are they earning out of that? Also, how many hours does a person have to dedicate each week to reach this level?
Well, I think it's different for everyone, right? That's kind of a loaded question because if you look at Be Friendly, that's now pushing 60, 70 units a day at $40 a pop. It's getting close to that 50,000 in revenue mark. Actually, I think we just surpassed that for this last month. But we spent we did some really aggressive advertising campaigns and invested $5 or $10 grand up front in those campaigns to get us ranked for some pretty heavy queries that are now starting to kick in as our reviews are kicking in. You'll notice on this one here. When we started this, we had 2 reviews. You guys saw that in the pre-launch material. We've got 20 now, and we're ranking for more and more queries, and that's starting to kick in. So it's really about when your keyword rankings kick in. How many hours a month does it take you to manage doing that kind of volume? Well, you're probably going to spend an hour or 2 a day, doing customer support and emailing people back and forth and checking out your campaigns. You're probably going to spend a couple hours a day working on it. This campaign, this business scaled pretty quickly because we put a very focused and directed amount of energy into the marketing side of it. But if you're just getting started out and let's say you pick a product and the first one you pick doesn't work out for you, well, that's a couple weeks of your time, maybe a month or 2 of your time, and you didn't hit it with the first market. Okay, now you're going to do another one. So it really there's no way for me to tell you the number of hours you're going to have to invest. It's variable. Some people hit it right away. Some people take some 2 or 3 products before they've got a winner. Some people are able to, like we are, able to hire people to handle the support, so they don't have to actually worry about doing the support for their business. So it just depends on your specific circumstance. And doing 50 grand a month on Amazon in revenue is not $50,000 a month in profit. Okay. There's the money that you're spending on ads. There's the money that you're spending on inventory. There's Amazon fees. I'd say 50 grand a month in revenue is probably more like 20 to 25 grand a month in profit in most cases. So that's, it's such a variable spectrum that there's no real way to tell you exactly the amount of time you're going to have to invest. And frankly, it doesn't really matter what amount of time you have to invest. What matters is that you have to invest, and what you shouldn't be worrying about is how to get to 50K. What you should be worrying about is how to rank for different queries and how to get some organic sales coming in. Worry about getting to $1,000 a month, then $2,000 a month. Don't try to think, obviously have your goal. If your goal is 50 grand a month, that's awesome. Put that on your wall and have that as a goal. But as far as practical application goes, you're going to have to make 5 sales a day before you can make 50 sales a day.
Yeah, and this is a good time to bring up Kai's question. He's saying, how do you do your calculations for things like Amazon FBA, packaging, shipping, design, production, ad costs, all that stuff? Do you keep like a spreadsheet? And he's wondering if you have a calculation sheet available.
We don't have a calculation sheet because it's different for everyone, right? Like the tools, there's going to be some tools you're going to need. It's going to be $40 a month for your Seller Central account. I'll just make a little list for you if you want. So you're going to have Seller Central. That's going to be one cost. Then you're going to have the initial design of your logo and your labels, right? That's going to be another cost. So it's going to be initial design, which is a one-time thing. Then you're going to have the cost of your initial inventory, which is going to be your packaging and your labeling and all that stuff. So it's the initial inventory. You're probably going to buy 100 units or so to start. Then you're going to have the shipping cost associated with getting that to FBA. That's going to be a one-time fee as well. Then you're going to have your Amazon fees per product that you sell, right? So that's going to be like between 8 and 15%, depending on what you're doing. And then you're going to have your marketing fees, which is going to be your Facebook ads and your launch campaign and stuff like that. And that's going to be dependent on whatever you set aside for that. You can run this initial Mississippi Muffin Top campaign for just a couple $100 and see huge results. So it's not, you don't have to spend a lot on the upfront, but you're going to want to continue to invest in the marketing. So that's going to be a monthly cost. Then you're going to have the tools that you use, right? Merchant Words and Seller Gizmo and whatever other tools you use. So it's really variable depending on how much initial inventory you buy and how much you put into marketing. But all these other costs are pretty much fixed. I would say that you're not going to get away from your initial launch for under, I've seen guys do it for $1,000, but it's more likely about $2,000. You're probably going to spend between $500 and $1,000 on inventory. You're probably going to spend around, so your initial inventory and your setup is probably going to be between $500 and $1,000. So let's estimate high and let's say that's $1,000. Then you're just like getting all yourself together, getting your products over there, getting your label designed and all that stuff. Let's say on the high end, it's $500. Now, some people do this on Fiverr for $50. You know what I mean? You can do it on Elance for $100. It doesn't have to be this expensive. I'm estimating really high. And then you got your initial marketing, and that's probably going to be your initial cost to launch. It's going to be somewhere in the $1 to $2K range for your initial launch. And that will, with any luck, if you do it properly, if you follow my advice in this course, get you ranked for some queries and get you going and getting some organic sales. But it could be like if you look at Be Friendly, you want it to go quickly. We put $10,000 into that Be Friendly campaign up front before we saw any return on investment. Yeah, now we're kicking ass with it and it's doing really well, but we invested a lot more up front in the marketing. We bought a lot more inventory so that we could give more away, so that we could have a higher sales velocity, so that we could get more reviews, et cetera, so that we could launch 6 products at the same time, because we knew that when one product started to go really well, people would buy other products in our line based on our experience of the other lines that we have. So that's how we did it. But you can start on a shoestring budget, or you can put more into it. The more that you put in, the more that you get out. That's kind of how it works.
Cool. Well, we've got lots of questions piling up here. Ron says, I've been looking in the kitchen and dining category. Do you have any general suggestions for making products there that are at least slightly unique so they stand out from the others?
You gotta, you want to give me an example?
Well, I don't know if he's got one, but let's try. I don't know. He's looking at kitchen and dining. Yeah, Ron, silicone barbecue glove. That's what he's got for.
How do you spell silicone?
SILICONE. I think, yeah.
All right. So what I would do on silicone barbecue gloves is I would come in here and I'd look at the ones that are ranking. I guess my question is, first of all, what's going to be the main query? So let's come over here. Let's put in silicone barbecue gloves. See what happens. Looks like there's nothing. So let's see.
You know, maybe the part of the problem with barbecue is that it's spelled so many different ways.
And that can be
BBQ.
an asset to you.
Yeah.
That can be an asset if you okay, silicone barbecue gloves, silicone. Let's go to the main. Let's just see what. Let's go to all departments because this is where people are going to start. Okay, so 351, 48, 25 looks like a market you could penetrate super easily. Does not appear to have many searches because Merchant Words doesn't even register it. Let's see. Okay, under 100 there. Let's take a look at Google. I'll answer your question in just a second, but first I just want to tell you if you're even, on the right track here. Not that little products can't do well. Hey, if you got 10 little products, that's Chris Keefe's way he does it. He picks a bunch of tiny little products, gets ranked for like 5 or 10 of them, and now he's kicking butt. Okay, yeah, Google. Google's not. I don't think there's many. Here you go. Silicone barbecue gloves. There you go. Silicone grilling gloves. All right, you got some little ones here. Silicone gloves for barbecue. Merchant Words isn't recognizing them, but Google's saying there's a few searches a month for it. But what I would do is I would take a look through this. I'd read the reviews on the products. So I'd come down here, and I would read through the Q&A, and then I would read through all the reviews, especially the negative ones. Like, for example, this guy has large hands, and these are hard to take off. So I might come in and be like, oh, if I see that on another product, man, most of the silicone barbecue gloves out there are not large enough, so I'd make an extra large pair. Or especially the negative ones, because those ones are where you get the best kind of feedback. So if we look at all the 1 stars, we can come in here and we can see, first of all, I don't know where this one doesn't have heat protection. Okay, so that's not so good. The problem is that the glove is not a glove in the three-dimensional sense. So I don't know what that means. They're hard to take off. They begin to break down and crack. So you can find out all the problems with a product by reading the reviews, especially the negative ones. And then you can come in and make a product that handles those problems, even if it looks similar, as long as you can differentiate in the copy. That it's got to solve problems that the other ones don't. That's how you make it different. Looking different isn't the agenda. Who cares if it looks different? I mean, yeah, you want it to be a different color than the ones that are in these pictures. So, you might want to come out with a yellow one or something, for your main image that's different than these other ones. But the key is going to be, does it solve problems that the others don't? That's what you want to look for. And you can best find that out by looking at the negative reviews and seeing the problems that the other gloves in the market have. Yeah, I mean, this guy's got 351 reviews, so that's pretty good. So looks like he's ranking for heat-resistant gloves as well. Maybe there's some traffic for that. Yeah, it looks like heat-resistant gloves is probably the better keyword. Let's take a look. Yeah, there you go, dude. Cooking gloves, heat-resistant. 372, 158. So this is going to be your better query here. It's going to be heat-resistant gloves over and I'll bet you that cooking gloves is even better. Yeah, dude, that's the one. See, that's what he's ranking for. Let's take a look at cooking gloves. Yeah, see, that's your query. Cooking gloves heat resistant. That's really going to be your query there, not barbecue gloves.
So pretty cool to watch you go through that process, man. How about this question from AJ? Do you ever just drive traffic to a product as an affiliate first to determine if it's truly worth your time to private label?
No, I don't, because we're pretty good at picking good markets based on all the criteria that I've given you. You could do that if you wanted, but you can tell how many sales it's getting by the search volume and the number of reviews and stuff like that. So you can kind of tell the competitiveness of a market based on the criteria that I've given you, and that's what we use. And we just we just roll that way. But if you really wanted to like play it super safe, I guess you could set up a Amazon Associates account and become an affiliate for a for a product and drive some traffic that way. But you can't, you're not going to be able to you're not going to be able to do giveaway campaigns and stuff. So you're going to have to get people to buy it at full price. It's going to be more a little more difficult.
So Pete says a few of the products we're looking at, the main modifier we might target for our keyword is a style, not a specific product feature. So would keywords centered around country, modern, Victorian, etc. be overly risky if we're not already ranking for the product? Or should a style be treated like any other keyword?
A style's a modifier, bro. I used to be in this market here, right? And we had so many cool modifiers. We had modifier. We had modern. We had adjustable. We had metal and wood and rustic. And so those are all modifier queries. And so if your main query is bar stools, then bar stools modern or modern bar stools. Modern bar stool, for example, is going to be a fantastic query to rank for. And you can see that some of our guys, like these are all. This bar stool is actually from a brand called let's see. Man, there's this like. These are all stools that we used to sell, and we were in the dropship business and the bar stool business, and so all of these stools, Baxton Studios, man, these were my drop shippers, and like all these guys that you're looking at here, Lumasource, this was a drop shipper I had, like all these guys were my drop shippers in this market. But we ranked, all over the place for all these different queries. I hope that answers your question.
Yeah, and another question sort of like this comes from Trey. He says, I have access to a vegan hemp product brand. Should I go for keywords outside the hemp protein, in other words, drilled down, or should I go where there's more traffic and competition in, say, the vegan protein powder area?
Well, you're going to want to rank for all of them, right? Vegan protein powder looks crazy. Like you're going to need some real heat to break into the top here. Let's see if this is shipped and sold by Amazon. Nope. This one is, you could break right into this. This is just some random seller. This is not, Amazon does not own the vegan protein powder market at this point. So
why is that important, Ezra?
Let's take a look at this.
Why is it important to check to see if it's shipped and made by?
Well, okay, so that means is that Amazon is buying this product from this retailer and then selling it as their own. So basically Amazon is doing the marketing for this product, not a seller. And if every one of the top guys, in this case, the number 2 is, let's take the number 3. Take a look at this guy. Nope, see? Get like it may have been the bike helmet market, or no, it was the dog gate market. That's what it was. Every one of these products, every one of these brands is shipped and sold by Amazon, and so it's not loading up for me now. But every one of these brands is shipped and sold by Amazon. Are you still there, dude? Or is my internet?
Yeah, you dropped out for just a second, but you're back.
Okay, so every one of these products is shipped and sold by Amazon here, so you're not going to be able to break into it if Amazon owns the whole market. But in this case, in the vegan protein powder market, there's only one product that's shipped and sold by Amazon, so it's still worth going into. But like basically, if it said shipped and sold by Amazon, like the top 4 or 5 guys, then you don't want to get in there because it's going to be real hard to knock those guys out. But in this one, you can knock these guys out pretty easily. So I would probably, if I was in the vegan protein powder market and I was trying to decide between vegan protein powder and hemp protein powder, I'll tell you what I'd do. So we got vegan protein powder. We can see we got 1,000, 1,400, 300, 300, 2,600, 700, 143. I could probably break the top of this market, as you can see that we did over here on night cream. We broke the top of that category at 21 reviews. We broke it at 3 reviews, frankly, but now we're at 21. When we started, it was 200, 500, and 100. That was what we had to break. But we understand the algorithm, right? We understand that there's more to ranking than just reviews. There's sales velocity. There's conversion rate of your product detail page. There's the actual keyword density of your listing. There's the history and value of your seller account. It's all these factors, right? So the number of reviews is just one factor. But for vegan protein powder, I might come after like, like vanilla vegan protein powder. That's probably a juicy one. And it's long tail, and it's going to help us rank for vegan protein powder. So look at this. This guy's only 200, 143, 123. I might come after this one because I know for a fact that with a little bit of marketing, I'm going to be able to get to number 3 at least behind these guys, because these guys here for the vanilla long tail query are not near as sophisticated as the guys over here for the other one. There's more competition for the main query. But by ranking for vanilla, I'm going to be able to come in and also help my ranking for vegan protein powder as well. So if I was going between vegan protein powder and hemp, either way I'm going to attack a long tail second tier query that's going to help me rank for one of those. But look at this, man, hemp's way easier. But we got Nutiva, 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 Nutiva. You're not going to beat Nutiva for the term hemp protein powder, because I guarantee you Nutiva is shipped and sold by Amazon. Bang. See that? This is one of those markets where Amazon owns the top 4 spots. Nutiva is a brand. It's all shipped and sold by Amazon. You're not knocking them out for the term hemp protein powder. Your best chance is over here at number 5. That's probably accurate. I mean, look, you could do it. I've seen it done before, but it's going to be a lot harder. So I'm going to go after the vegan ones for that reason, because the hemp protein powder is owned by Amazon. Let's see what we got for long tail. Look at that. Even Nutiva is the brand. That's what people are searching for. The most searched freaking term is Nutiva. So I wouldn't even worry about hemp, because that's, people want Nutiva. That's the one they know about, and that's the one that Amazon owns. So frankly, I think the hemp protein powder market is going to be much more difficult to penetrate than the vegan one. It's also got much less searches.
So Nana says, why is Merchant Word's search volume more than Google search volume?
Because Merchant Words is pulling their data off their best estimates from Amazon.com, and Google is pulling their data off the Google data, right? Because Merchant Words is trying to value the number of searches on Amazon, which is significantly higher than the number of searches on Google for physical product queries. However, it's not accurate. Merchant Words is not accurate. The only real way to know how many searches a queries get is to set up Seller Central ads and see how many impressions that query gets over a given time period. But it's as good as we got. And it's pretty good, actually. It's pretty good. It's not horrible, but it's also not great. But it's the best we got, so we use it.
Yeah, and Kai asked if there's any keyword tools you'd recommend that support European Amazon sites.
No, I would use Google and Merchant Words for that as well. Because again, the keyword volume doesn't matter. It's all relative anyways. None of it is accurate. It's just to give you a barometer of the better keywords in your market. And you can verify keyword volume by looking at reviews, looking at BSR of products, looking at Google volume, that kind of stuff, like we talked about in the modules.
I just chatted you, and you can get to this when you can, Ezra, but I just sent in the chat the ASIN that Pascal was asking if you could do any reconnaissance work on that ASIN number to find out what they're ranking for, targeting, stuff like that.
Okay. So it's clear to me that these guys are going after best spiral slicer just on their title. And let's take a look at what they look like, actually. Where are they? So these guys, I bet you they're not ranking for anything. They got 14 reviews. They want to rank for best spiral slicer and for vegetable peeler and for spiral slicer zucchini noodles. Like if we put in you remember what they look like? There they are right there. See this? They're ranking for that, and we can tell just by looking at their main query and their modifiers, right? We can see what keywords they're going after. We can see what modifiers they're trying to go after. So zucchini, carrots, cucumbers, veggie, spaghetti maker, recipes. This person is some decent bullet points, some decent looking pictures, a nice looking title, a good solid description. We can tell that they're an ASM member because they click the big orange add to cart button. You can always tell ASM products from that. So that's, so there's an ASM guy, and they got some pretty good, decent, pictures and a decent title. I hope they're not on this call. If this is your product, sorry. They got some good bullet points. They're doing a little guarantee in there. They're doing a bonus. They got an ebook. They probably got a picture of their ebook. No, they don't. They should. It's funny because this call to action does not work at all, but everyone has it. So they're probably not ranking for much, frankly. Let's see if they got any other products. No, they just got that one product. Yeah, just that one guy. But I don't think they're ranking for that much. But I would just go through all and look at all their modifiers. And you could also take their product, you could take their ASIN, and you could put it into a tool like Seller Gizmo, which is one of these tools that it's a super URL tool, right? Which you learn about in Module 5. If you don't know about super URLs, you'll learn about them in Module 5. If you want to actually go into the thing and go to Module 5, you can learn about what a super URL is and why we use that tool. But they also, when you log in, they give you this option to do a rank tracker. So you could even put their ASIN number into that. You could do a rank tracker on their product and put in all the queries that you think is relevant for this product, and then you'd know every single query they were ranking for and where they were ranking for it.
Cool stuff. Tyler says, how much stock should I have with Amazon to make them comfortable moving me up? I'm thinking in the rankings he means. My last order was 400 units.
Yeah, that's enough. I mean, like, what we notice on big queries is a couple things, right? And that's how we figured this out. Was we figured out that the more stock we had, the easier it was to push our rankings up. We noticed that a lot of the times the guys at the top in big markets are not low on stock, because if you're low on stock, Amazon is not really going to want to put you at the top because they know you're just going to run out. So it's really only a difference. Like you can get to position number 3. You know what I mean, for a given query. Let's look at the heck was that? Basket for walkers. That's weird. Let's find out what that is. A walker basket. Oh, look at that. These granny walkers. A little basket for it. So you can get to the top. You can get to the top one, position 5 with 15 or 20 units, and you're going to need some more units. A couple hundred is plenty, because usually at the top for any given query, it's only going to push, between 25, 50 units a day. For the bigger queries, a couple hundred units a day. So you're probably cool with a couple hundred units.
James says, do we care if fulfillment is directly from Amazon or fulfilled by a third party?
You're going to rank higher if you're using fulfillment by Amazon, but you could also use fulfillment by merchant. We're ranking pretty well using fulfillment by merchant on some products, so you could do both. We find that FBA products tend to rank a little bit better. I may have just found someone to market here. Let's find out. Look at that, dude! Walker basket, 30,000. That's hilarious, bro. That's so funny. Oh my God! Someone needs to make a walker basket, dude. Just a little basket for the walkers, man. You could take this over, dude. Let me ask you this. You could be the walker basket queen.
Let's say you were going to build a walker basket. What's the first step you would go into? I know you go through things like Thomasnet and things like that in the course. Like, where's your first step when you're gonna have a new walker basket created? Did I lose you there?
Something like a walker basket is going to be real easy to get that produced. Can you still?
Yeah, you cut out a little bit, but you're good.
Testing. One, two.
Yeah, you're cutting out.
Okay. Something like a walker basket is going to be real easy to get reproduced overseas. Hey, man, am I doing anything bad? Russ?
Yeah, you're there. You're there.
Lost you, pal. I'm still here if you are.
Yeah, I hear you now. I think one of the two of us is lagging a little bit.
Okay. Well, something like a walker basket is going to be real easy to get produced overseas because there's nothing special to it. You're probably not going to modify it very much. What I would do is I'd buy this one. I'd take some pictures of it, and then I would send it around to see if I can get some guys to do me a quote on it, and just basically do kind of a reproduction style because it's really just a freaking wire basket with some hooks on it. See those little hooks?
Yep.
That's all it is. So this is a simple reproduction. You're not probably going to make any, do anything to this. Maybe you want to put a rear view mirror on it, too. That could be your addition. You could have a walker basket with a rear view mirror.
A cup holder or something, maybe?
Yeah, a cup holder. You could add something like that, but you're probably just going to ask for a straight up reproduction on this.
Cool stuff, man. Okay, so let's see. When you run Amazon ads, should you target the top tier keyword first, or should you target the secondary keyword first?
All of them. Take every keyword that you have, put them into Seller Central ads, every keyword that's relevant for your product, put your bid to $5, put your budget to $100 a day, and spend. And do not set up Amazon Seller Central ads until you have at least 10 reviews, because you're not going to make any sales if you don't have any reviews. So don't do ads until you have 10 reviews. Once you got 10 reviews, then you can turn on your Seller Central ads. And the goal of Seller Central ads is to find out what queries are the best. We just want to find out which queries we should try to rank for organically. So turn it on, spend a couple $100, and see what keywords are getting visibility and bringing you conversions. And some of them will be profitable, so leave those profitable ones on. Turn the ones that aren't profitable off, and now you got your keyword data. And even if a keyword isn't profitable in Seller Central, that doesn't mean it's not a good keyword to try to rank for.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about this exact concept in AdWords on the blog yesterday. If you go to the Digital Marketer blog and read the post at the top, it's about doing this very thing in AdWords, which is essentially using AdWords as a keyword research tool, because there's nothing like getting actual real data. The keyword tool can only tell you so much until you start spending money and looking for clicks. It's actually at digitalmarketer.com/blog. Yeah, so 2 surprising and profitable market insights hiding in your Google AdWords data is about doing this very thing using AdWords, whereas, what Ezra's just saying is, to use these Seller Central ads to let the ads tell you what works and what doesn't work. So awesome stuff, man.
We might be getting pretty close to the end of this call, dude.
Yeah, well, we've got a lot of questions piling up here, and we do have the Facebook group.
Let's start banging through them, bro. I'm gonna answer them quick because my voice is getting hoarse. Although I do want to make sure we get everyone. So let's.
Yeah. Okay. So if you were adding second tier keywords, do you add the full keyword in the bullet? Or essentially, where are you putting the second tier keywords?
So you're using those modifiers throughout your content. You don't if you're trying to rank for knee walker basket, you don't need to have walker basket and then knee walker basket and then Invacare walker basket. You just need to have E in Invacare and drive and Hugo rolling and the modifiers throughout your content. You don't need the term walker basket a million times.
Is there any categories to stay away from besides ingestibles, books, musical instruments? I'm unclear about sourcing these products, so I'm confused about what to choose. I'm not entirely finished with Mod 2, so sorry if this is covered.
Like, for example, of a guy who I think has done this horribly, notice that he's got hummingbird feeder, hummingbird feeders, hummingbird feeder, Hummingbird feeders. It's just all over the place. I think it's too stuffed. Although they did do a bunch of stuff right as well. What was the question?
Any categories just completely just stay away from, like
Electronics and ingestibles. And beauty is a tough one as well. I think that, you know, electronics is real tough, although a lot of people do well in it. Books, you probably don't want to be selling books. Beauty is a tough one. Baby is a fantastic one. Games and arts and crafts and stuff like that is a great one. Clothing is really difficult to get approved in, so I'd probably stay away from that. But there, you know, I wouldn't say. I'd say any category can make you money. So
what about
you know, I don't know.
any thoughts about musical instruments?
Well, those tend to be really expensive.
Yeah.
I don't like to do those because it's like I got to pay $200 per unit, you know, so I can't really do any marketing.
How can you tell if a product is not ethically sourced?
It's really tough, man. It's really, really tough. You just got to ask questions of your suppliers and ask questions of the people who are helping you with sourcing. So, like, you know, we did a little bit on sourcing here. We kind of went through the basics of it. We gave you some good sources for it, and then I had Mark Hong come in, and he actually offered in there to help people. And so, you know, that'd be like if you were having Mark help you, that'd be questions that you would, you know, ask him. Hey, how are we ensuring that the people who are making these products are getting paid fairly and stuff like that? It's kind of really tough to do when you're sourcing overseas. That's why I always source from America, because you know you don't really have that much insight in sourcing overseas. You just got to kind of ask your factory guys and take their word for it. But just the fact that you're asking, you know, you can gauge their response. Nobody else is even asking those questions. We are the only group of retailers asking about whether or not our products are ethically sourced, because I really care about that kind of stuff. You know, nobody else has even brought this concept up that I've ever talked to about Amazon. So I think just being inquisitive in that area will get you some results. But it is kind of difficult. I don't really have a good answer for how to do that other than to be nosy and ask.
So Vic says, how do you ensure that a beauty product is effective before you choose to private label it? In case of a physical product, it's easier to identify quality, but not as easy for beauty products.
Yeah, you buy it, and then you test it with all of your friends and your female friends, if that's a female geared towards product. You actually, you know, you make that decision based on using it with your community, and you can see whether or not you can tell a crappy product. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I've bought plenty of them. What if you have two different private label products in completely different categories, beauty and home improvement? How do you set up your Seller Central account? Which brand name do you choose? I contacted Amazon and requested to set up a second account, and they denied my request.
Yeah, probably because you contacted them. You could just set up a second Seller Central account, although it is technically against terms of service to do so, but everyone is doing that. Everyone is setting up second Seller Central accounts. What we did with this barbecue mitt, though, I'm not going to tell you what to do, whether or not you should do that. I just know that's what a lot of people are doing. What I would do is I would have the name be something like the brand be something like, let's see, what was that product we were just looking at? Like, for example, these guys, Best Home Products. That's the name of the person who's related to that brand, but then they've got the Seller Central account, which is these guys here, BHP. So you're going to want to name your seller account something generic, and then you can have, you know, different names for, under each of the products that who it's by. So you can have different names under who it's by, but it would be from the same seller account. The way that you'll notice, you know, a product that we're rolling out is sold under the Be Friendly, but it's by Act Natural, right? Sold by Be Friendly Skincare, which is our brand, but it's, you know, from a different product line. So you can do that.
Market criteria checklist. Is there a minimum profit percentage you would recommend to allow for advertising in these $1 promos?
If you're buying a product for $5, I'd say you want to sell it for no less than 15. It's kind of how we do it. We like to be able to mark up at least 2 times over our purchase price.
So Michael says, our product is health and beauty oil. Please explain the do's and don'ts of getting that product approved.
You just got to go through Amazon's You just got to go through their approval process. There's a, you can go through and actually, let's see. You can go through and you view the requirements for any given category and then follow those steps. I don't know what the requirements specifically are. You have to just go through and do it and get approved in that category. That's why I say to try to stay away from restricted categories so that you don't have to go through and do all that stuff. But if you're trying to get into a restricted category, then you got to go through and view the requirements. So if you wanted to get into sexual wellness, you'd have to log in to do it. But there's some stuff you'd have to do to get in there.
Are you sourcing any products out of China, or are you basically sourcing from just in the U.S.?
We source a lot of our componentry from overseas, but we make all of our products here in the United States.
Let's see. Any advice on wholesaling your white label products? I have had a couple of stores contact me about wholesale, but I do not want competition on my Amazon listing. Is it worth the risk if it is local high-end stores?
Yeah, if you've got a relationship with those people and you know who they are, and you be very upfront with them that you don't want them to sell it on Amazon.com, and that if you catch them selling it on Amazon.com, you'll discontinue the relationship, then I think you're safe. I would say try to sell your product in any avenue and market that you possibly can. So I'm all about wholesaling to local organic retail shops and stuff like that. I think that's a good idea as long as you're upfront and clear with them about what your agenda is.
Can you talk a little bit about pricing your product? For example, you get it for $2 plus packaging, plus shipping from China, plus marketing costs, end up being able to sell it for $16 and you only get $4 profit.
If you're spending $12 to get a product to Amazon and the highest you can sell it for is $16, then you need to get out of that market. Pricing is going to be dictated by what other folks are selling it by. You can usually go 20 to 30% higher than the next highest person, but it's going to be dictated by the competition, right? This is different because some people are selling 0.5 ounces, some people are selling 4 ounces, so this is going to be priced by ounce in this market. But if you're only able to sell it for 16 and you're paying 12, then that's a bad market.
You know any tools that can estimate bestseller sales volume, like number of units a day or month?
There was one that that these other guys put out called Profit something or other, but I don't know any good ones that'll tell you the number of sales. And again, bestseller rank is irrelevant. It really is. Bestseller rank is so easily manipulatable that you never know, what number 61 in vitamin E today is. That guy could be number 2,000 tomorrow, So the bestseller rank doesn't really tell you a whole lot about consistency of volume, unless it's someone that you've seen sitting there over time, in which case then you can use that metric. But again, the only real way to get data is with Seller Central ads. You can see how many impressions you get for a query, and then you can gauge the number of clicks someone's going to get in the first spot, and you can look at the average conversion rate of your page, and you can kind of tell that way.
Have you any recommendations for keyword optimization on artworks? And I just chatted you something that's called serigraphies is what this person's selling.
What's the question?
Keyword optimization on this term, and this person's selling artwork.
Okay. Well, it looks like, as far as Amazon is concerned, people who are searching for serigraphy, this is a perfect example. This is an informational query. They want to buy content right? This is in what the Amazon is returning the top two results, information. They're not returning art, right? There's no art here at all. It's all information, maybe a screen. I don't think you should sell a serigraphy art on here because when people are searching for serigraphy on Amazon, they're searching for information on how to make serigraphy, or they're searching for serigraphy. Look, when I put in serigraphy A, there's not even a suggested search. So there's a book. People want books. They want machines. They want equipment. They want printers. They want screens. They're not looking for the art. They don't want to buy the art. That's not happening. So I would say don't sell that on here because there's no one looking for it. Even when I put in serigraphy art, it's bringing me a book first, and then a piece of art second, and then another book, another book, another book. So I think this is a straight-up informational query, non-commercial intent query, or at least non-commercial intent for physical products.
All right, well, we're coming up on 90 minutes here, guys. I think let's take a few more questions that I think would be useful for everybody on the call, and then move some of this stuff into the Facebook group where we can discuss it. And
you'll have me next week.
Yep, we're not going anywhere, are we?
Nope, we'll be here next week. And then also, the sooner you ask your questions, the quicker, the more prominent they are in the queue.
Right.
And you do have the Facebook group here.
Does the order of how you position the keywords that you want to rank for matter when you're marketing and writing your titles and your so does putting it in there earlier help versus putting it deeper?
Yes, keyword prominence in your title is a relevant factor when it comes to ranking, and we talk about that when we talk about posting your product in Module 4. But yeah, the keyword, the most prominent keywords are the one in your title are the ones that you're most optimized for.
Michael's asking, how do I attack a category dominated by MLM products? Or would you, multi-level marketing products, do you recommend going into those spaces, or any thoughts there?
Can you give me the query? I can tell you.
Essential oils.
So would you be going after something like maybe lavender oil? Now Foods, Eden's Garden. I mean, it doesn't look like these are all. Looks like the MLM brand is not even here, which is the Nature's. What the heck is it? Nature's Essence. That's the MLM brand. I don't even see them. God, what was the name of that? There was these. Let's try. There was this brand. This one brand of essential oils that was huge back in the day. It may not even be on Amazon. You know what I'm talking about? It was like this freaking, like, my mom was super into it. All the ladies were into it. It was huge. It was like something essential oils.
I don't know.
What was it?
Beyond me.
Young Living. That's what it was. It was Young Living. Yeah, I think you could get, this is them. Young Living, man. They were they were like just the kings of this market. Young Living essential oils. Yeah, I think you could get into the essential oil market. I don't see why not. It doesn't look like Young Living dominates it.
Let me see here. We've got some ones that are relevant to everybody. And if you've got something that's more circumstantial, it'd be great to put that in a Facebook group. What about a personalized product? I think this is going back to the question of, the Indian jewelry and how custom it was. I do photo handbags, and the customer has to send their picture to us. We have a build it kit, and have worked in QVC, but not sure about Amazon.
I think personalized products are going to be really difficult on Amazon. There's a way to get approved for it, and then like you got to do this whole thing, and then like basically, if I was to buy this sign, this personalized sign, then like as I check out, there's a way for me to fill in what I want that to be. Like it's a whole special approval process for personalized products. I would probably stay away from them, but I don't know anything about that market because I've never been in it. I just know that there's a special way to do it.
There's a couple of people asking about the keyword form that you showed us, the spreadsheet, and that is located in Module 2 that Ezra demonstrated at the beginning of the call. And I think I've gone through all of the ones that I feel like are good fit for the group as a whole. But like I said, use that Facebook group, and of course we aren't going anywhere. We'll have a call again next Wednesday. But I think we better, in the interest of respecting everyone's time, try to keep this call to 90 minutes here. Ezra, man, this was unbelievable. Thank you so much for another amazing webinar, and thanks to all of you on the call.
Yeah, thank you guys so much. Really appreciate you coming and spending some time with me, and I hope that I've been able to clarify some things for you, and I look forward to getting on the call with you next week and also hanging out with you in the Facebook group.
All right, everybody. We'll talk to you then. Bye-bye.
Bye.